welcome to tonight's Facebook Live. Excited to be here. Let's see if we can get some people on. So, I'm actually just gonna dim my lighting just a smidge. It's a little intense there. Let's see if we can get some people on. I'm gonna start with some smudging. And here we are. Smudging. Hi, Brandy. Let me get my feather. So we're just clearing any and all negative energy that does not serve us in all directions of time and space. Amen. Hi, sister. If you want to share, Brandy, that would be so good. If you want to share the video. And I'm going to set up a quick container. So let's clear any and all negative energy from my auric field that may not be of service in this space. Yay! And if you want to share it to the my Facebook group, the Julianne Faye Cosmic Playground one, that would be good as well. So I'm just going to clear any and all negative energies in my auric field that are not of service right now, clearing any and all negative energies from this room, and as far as we want to go with the clearing. And I want to infuse a sacred white light container in all directions of time and space. Amen. I want to call on various archangels, gods, goddesses. So I want to call on the Ascended Masters Babaji, Hilarion, Isis, Sekhmet, Hathor, Kuan Yin, Green Tara, Ganesha, Sarasvati. I think that's it. That's all I'm feeling called. I want to call on Archangel Michael, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Metatron, Archangel Raguel, Archangel Zadkiel, Archangel Azrael. I want to call on Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, Jesus, Sekhmet, and Hathor if I didn't call on them already. I want to call on spirit animals, power animals, totem animals of God's white light. I want to call on ancestors of God's white light that are willing and able to assist in this space. And then lastly, I want to call on my guardian angels, my guides, as well as the guardian angels and guides of those who are watching this live or on replay, whether on Facebook or on YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome to this space. And it is my intention that I'm here to transmute messages that people most need to hear as it relates to messages of healing, truth, love, and peace. So let's get into it. I'm gonna do my best to actually look into my camera. It's a little bit different, but I'm trying to do that because I know that it helps a lot. So let's see if we can get some people on. Let's give it like another couple seconds here before I start going into some details about stuff. I just made myself a cup of tea and it's too hot, so I gotta wait. Yeah, so business updates. So I have been publishing daily card a day videos. So be liking and following me on my Facebook business page for that. On Instagram, I'm sharing snippets. Sometimes Instagram is cutting short my videos when I add them to my Insta stories. So it's great to get a teaser on my Instagram, but you'll want to actually go to my Facebook business page to watch the full video. And they're short. They're like 3 to 5 minutes long, these videos. And they're a single card of the day focus. They're awesome. So be following and checking that out. Hi, Amy. I'm so glad you made it. So, yeah, so other business updates. So we have the card of the day video messages going on, which is great. So be liking and following my Facebook business page for that. I'm working on some creative content to be doing as well as that, but it's still in the works. But the best way is to really just be following me on all my social media accounts. So my Facebook business page, my Instagram. I'm still in the midst of doing website updates. And yeah, there's just so much to be done all the time when you're a solopreneur, as I'm sure Amy can attest. Amy has a really cool henna business. So let's see what else. I think that's all for now as far as business updates go. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I'm just looking to get more engagement on my posts. So it really, really means a lot to me if you watched a yeah, if you watched a card of the day video message, or if you looked at a post, if you give that like a like or a love emoji reaction, or you share it, or if you tag friends on it, that's helping me so very much. Because unfortunately, you know, Facebook is set up in such a way where you actually have to tell, like Facebook has to have almost like statistics that that post wants to be seen by other people in order for it to populate and get more momentum. And the way that that happens is by people actually reacting on it. So liking it, loving it, commenting on it, sharing on it. If you look at it and enjoy it, but you don't engage on the post, it doesn't actually register like with Facebook at all. No worries, Brandy. It's okay. No worries at all. So, you know, it's like, definitely that's a really creative way that you can help support my business, is by sharing my posts and just engaging in my posts and things like that. If you're in my Fearlessly Fairy group, the message went out last night for this week, so check that out. And yeah, I can't think what else as far as business updates right now. Astrologically, so we have a lot going on. So we just started Pisces season today. I checked it earlier today and the sun was at 29 degrees of Aquarius. I believe the sun has now moved into Pisces. I'd have to check it, but I'm pretty sure that it's already moved into Pisces now. The moon is actually technically still in Leo right now. The sun and the moon will oppose in Pisces and Virgo tomorrow in the late morning. So the full moon is actually tomorrow. You might see some people reporting it as today, but it's actually technically, by the timing of it, tomorrow. And, you know, I spoke about this in my card of the day video message for today, that, you know, Pisces and Virgo are both on an axis as it relates to healing, but they work in different ways. So Virgo is related to healing of the physical body and the conscious mind, right? And kind of clearing up the clutter, digesting things. It's also related to the health and the care of the physical body. Pisces is the subconscious realm. It's like also related to our subconscious patterns, right? Our emotions, our feelings, and it's also related to, you know, our karmic energy in a way, because Pisces represents the 12th house in astrology, which is an accumulation of all the houses and all the signs that come before it, signs 1 through 11, right? Aries down to Aquarius. So, you know, it's really weird. I'm trying to look into the camera, and let me know if you notice the difference when I look here versus here, because it's awkward, but I realize that looking into the camera might be better. Oh, I am not orienting my phone the right way. I just realized that. Okay, Mercury conjunct Neptune. This is a lot of what the energy is about right now too, is a little bit of like brain fog and confusion, feeling a little bit weighed down mentally. I know myself today, it was really, really hard to like get out of bed. I definitely got a lot of extra sleep. It was much needed. And you know, I had a cup of like green tea and usually like 1 cup of caffeinated whatever, and I'm wired and I'm still very like sluggish. This is definitely, you know, Mercury in Pisces, and then Mercury conjunct Neptune in Pisces is like double, triple whammy. But the flip side of that is that it's a really, really good time to also be working on your subconscious patterns and your feelings and doing a lot of releasing work, you know, because the full moon is about releasing. But because we've got this Virgo full moon coming up, you know, and we've been feeling that energy for about the past week, it's like, you know, I just, being a Virgo, an early Virgo, I spotted it earlier on when I was looking at the moons coming ahead as an astrologer for the year. And, you know, I spotted this one as one that would be affecting me, and I underestimated the power of its effects, because last week was a killer week for me of a lot of releasing, a lot of emotional pain coming up, a lot of difficulties. I just feel that there's a lot of fires that I'm putting out right now. There's a lot of problems that I'm resolving, and that's okay. I'm at a more peaceful place with it today, but really last week was pretty killer for me. And, you know, just as this is the way astrology works, right? So the full moon will be exact at 0 degrees of Virgo, and I have planets a pile up of planets in Virgo, all between 3 and 6 degrees, right? So that's actually my Sun, my Mars, and my Venus. I think my Mars comes first. I have Sun conjunct Mars conjunct Venus, so I'm very driven, but I also am very, you know, the Venus aspect adds like a desire, you know, with beauty and relationships and things like that. Yeah, so Moon in Virgo. I'd have to know your exact degree, Amy, because if you're like a late Moon in Virgo, it's not really affecting you in the same way, you know. This would be like actually even people with late Leo planets or energy as well as early Virgo would be more affected. So it depends what degree, if it's actually being aspected. And you know, if it's Moon in Virgo, it's like, so then you have Sun opposed Moon, basically, right? So the Sun is in Pisces, and your Moon, well, we have Sun opposed Moon is the full Moon, and then your Moon is in Virgo. So you're probably going to be feeling more, you know, on the emotional end of it, right? So for me, I don't have Moon in Virgo, I have Sun in Virgo. So it has been I have Sun, Mars, Venus, Mercury, all in Virgo. But my Sun, Mars, and Venus are all being aspected with this full moon. So, you know, I was taking my dog for a walk today, and I keep getting the download that I'm almost going through some sort of life reset with this full moon, because it has been, oh God, there's just been so much last week. So much about so many things needing to release and get clear on what I need healing, but in a different way than maybe what I already know or understand. It's like just getting clarity on what needs healing and what do I need to do proactively in order to clean up that life area, or what do I need to do proactively to get on board with that. So for me, it's because it's affecting planets that are more, you know, physical, right? It's creating real physical drama and releasing and change-making necessities in my reality. For somebody that has it with their moon sign, it may not be as external as what you're seeing with me. It may be more internal. It's like, what are the emotional patterns that you need to clean up, you know? Also could be like, what is your relationship with certain things that you maybe emotionally gravitate towards, but like maybe you need to clean up, you know, like addictive patterns, like with shows or eating or any of those things, right? Because the moon is also related to attachments. Yeah, so, you know, I'm a real expert on Virgo energy because I'm a really strong Virgo, and I could say that I've been experiencing all the things that includes, right? Everything from my physical body's health to, you know, all the little details of what needs to be cleaned up. And Virgo is also about creating boundaries, right? Healthy boundaries. Virgo is fantastic at being exacting and saying, look, the wall is here, or you know, Virgo typically that energy is really good about communication and boundaries as it relates to communication, whereas Pisces is a little bit more like everyone's welcome, right? All-inclusive kind of thing. So there's also a lot of messages around boundaries right now and creating boundaries in our life and understanding how to speak up for boundaries that we need. You might be noticing that as well. Yeah, and then in addition, we also have Chiron. So Chiron is kind of like a planetoid. Some astrologers refer to it as an asteroid. I like to call it a planetoid. It's definitely not as big as a planet. But this is something that has been transiting in Pisces for a very long time. It dipped into Aries as a very weird orbit, so it's like all over the place sometimes. But it dips into Aries last year and towards the end of last year, and it's been there for several months. Going back through like the last couple degrees of Pisces, which are kind of like these ultimate surrender degrees of the zodiac, because remember what I said, that Pisces is the bottom of I love Pisces, not saying it's bad. Pisces though is the bottom of the zodiac, right? We go through signs 1 through 12 and Pisces comes at number 12. So Pisces, the reason why it sometimes has that heavy energy, that karmic energy to it, is because it's carrying the weight of all of the signs that came before it. Once we get into Aries, it's like a fresh start. We pop back to house 1 and it's like a restart, right? So, you know, with that, having Chiron, which is the wounded healer, looking at wounds that we have, it's like there's a lot of like, what are your subconscious wounds and the karmic patterns that you're healing? That's what we were going through with Chiron in the final degrees of Pisces, but now it's popped into Aries today, and it's actually in Aries to stay now. It's not going to be retrograding back into Pisces again. So what does Chiron at the beginning of Aries mean, right? Well, I mean, it's not like it's drastically changed degrees that much. So probably if it was affecting Pisces, if Chiron was affecting you at the end of Pisces, it's probably still affecting you within the 1 degree that it's moved now. You know, and it just means that our focus of where we're doing the work is shifting. So with Pisces, it was a lot about surrender and the spiritual journey and your karmic patterns, your self-sabotaging patterns. With Aries, this is going to be more so about your assertiveness, your sense of personal authority, how you relate in the world as an individual. This is also about the physical body as well, because Aries actually rules the head. So this is also about, you know, the physical body. So it's like now the energy is going to start to shift more to like, what are my needs as an individual? What are my needs to take care of my physical body? That's how the energy is going to shift with it. But of course, exactly how it's going to shift in what way or flavor or nuances, I would have to look at your chart and advise that it's in this house, it's aspected in this way. These are just kind of some generalities. But be mindful too. I just want to put out like with tremendous love disclaimer. I want to have my tea so bad, but it's too hot. That's like the worst thing in the world. Okay, that was my crying moment. I'm over it. I just want to put out a general disclaimer that sometimes I'm seeing posts, you know, in places like on Instagram or wherever, where people are like, this has changed signs. All your problems are resolved. Like, all of this stuff is like gone now, and you don't have to deal with it anymore. And it's like, maybe not. You know, it's like, yeah, the flavor has changed. It's sort of like, I'm actually getting the sense about like an ice cream cone. It's like, you know, you've changed flavors of the ice cream cone, but you're still holding the darn ice cream cone. And you still have to figure out if you're eating the ice cream cone, are you cleaning off, you know, the dribbles of the ice cream cone? What are you going to do with the ice cream cone when you're done with it? So just pay attention to almost like this, like, you know, I'm going to say this with love, and it's probably going to appear critical, but maybe it's the Virgo full moon. I'm just like, pour it out the, like, you know. It's interesting too, by solar method, Virgo would have Scorpio in its 3rd house. So that's why Virgo is actually, they're able to penetrate communication in a way where they see things and they perceive things that makes sometimes people uncomfortable, you know, if they can't handle that level of depth. So of course, whatever planets you have it in, then it creates like a double layer of that flavor within it. I'm so like, I love solar astrology. If you want to ever hear me ramble for a really long time about the solar method of doing astrology, feel free to just like anytime poke me and be like, talk about the solar method of astrology, and I will for a really long time. But anyway, you know, sometimes I'm seeing posts, which I would say is like fast food astrology. You know, it's people picking one thread out of the story of the cosmos and picking that thread and being like, okay, here's this thread, and now here's a whole new tapestry, you know. And it's like, that is one thread. There's many threads, right? So everybody's got a unique chart. Everybody has a unique set of transits. You know, the transits are the same no matter what, which is the way that the planets are moving, you know. But as to how they affect an individual, that depends on their personal natal chart and what aspects are going on. You could have not very many aspects to Chiron, and it's like it wasn't really affecting you before, and now it's totally affecting you. So by putting up that post, you know, and so it's not to say that everybody can be perfectly articulate at exactly what is happening to every individual in society all the time. I'm not saying that that's unrealistic. And these posts do help provide, you know, more awareness about what's going on astrologically. But I just want to put out a disclaimer that it's like, sometimes if you're seeing these posts and you read it and it's like you're going through maybe a struggle, don't feel like there's something wrong with you or that you're less than, you know, because you're reading this and seeing other people say that it's like all the problems should be resolved now because this transit changed. It's like, you are an individual. You have your own chart. You're under your own influences, right? You're under your own set of circumstances, and that may be just one tiny piece of the story, and maybe 60 to 75% of the people that read that post, it may be applicable to. Maybe it's not applicable to you. So, you know, maybe this is also about just that energy of like, don't compare yourself to other people, and don't internalize these, messages that people put out of like, this happened, now all your problems are resolved. And it's like, that may not be the end of the story. It's like we're all in this really long book and we're going through each chapter. We're still writing the book. We're still putting the words together, So, I don't know where that came from, but that just came through really strong because I really identify as a professional astrologer for a reason, because I study astrology. It is a language. It is a science. I actually have a science degree. I come from a scientific background, and I was taught in school that astrology is not a true science. But studying it and digesting it and understanding the language as I do day in and day out, and as I have done for almost 2 years now, I can tell you that it's a lot more complicated than just one sign, one aspect, one little dribble of information. There's a lot that goes on, So I just want people to understand, and this is like totally becoming a soapbox moment, but hopefully those of you watching this live or on replay are just receiving this. It's like, I want you to understand that there's a complexity to it, and it is scientific. It's a sacred science. It's what I would call a sacred science. Modern day scientists don't want to call this a real science because it does involve a certain amount of translating, right? It's kind of like a mathematical language in a way. But that doesn't mean that it's any less complicated or has any less amount of sacred geometry and mathematics and precision and accuracy than would be required in other types of disciplines. So, I get a little bit on a soapbox about this because coming from like a lot of academia, I have 2 degrees actually. I have a science degree and I have a teaching degree, and I was a science teacher. So I know what it's like for people to understand things the wrong way. Yeah, I know what it's like for people to learn things the wrong way and how much damage gets done when people learn things the wrong way. So I just really want to put that disclaimer out there of, if you're hearing information astrologically, it may not necessarily be the most accurate version of the full story or the full truth. And there's a reason why we need to have multiple teachers in our lives, right? So anyway, bit of a soapbox there. But I do feel that that was an important message to come out, and maybe it's the full moon with all my energy, just like really aspecting me. Had to have some kind of power moment there. So let's transition into card pulls. So Brandy, if you're on and you'd like a card pull, let me know. Amy, if you're on and you'd like a card pull, let me know. And I've got just 2 decks tonight. I got actually 2 tarot decks. So we have Fairy Tarot and we have Angel Tarot. And thank you for the love hearts, Brandy. I so very much appreciate them and receive them. And like I said, feel free to, if you're watching this on replay, we're not catching a lot of people in this live. If you're watching this on replay, please do feel free to tag friends in the comments, share this, all the things, Sure, you got it, Amy. Okay. So, what does Amy need to know right now? All right, for you, Amy, we have Princess of Autumn. Princess of Autumn. Studious, responsible, cheerful, mischievous. Happy news about your career, promotions, or scholarships. Well thought out plans that go perfectly, needing a little push to get along. So this is like, she's no longer a child. She's not quite at full womanhood with this project or this like study. So this is very much a card about like, keep going, keep studying, keep getting organized, keep getting into further integration of this thing that you're working on or this thing that you're learning. This very much like, it has that card of princess. So it's like, she's not a baby or a child in this project, but she's not quite at the level of queen yet. So there's still some kind of growing up to do in this energy of learning. And this could be also writing related or studying something new. But this is very much a card of like, keep going, keep going. Okay, so let's see. Brandy, what does Brandy need to know right now? Ooh, we got have 2 cards for Brandy. Let me check. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. Okay. So we have, good. I'm glad, Amy. So we have 6 of winter for you, Brandy. Positive changes are on their way. Traveling or relocating. It says a welcome relief from troubled times. So this is a really positive card. You could see that it's like, okay, the ship is in the water. You know, there's kind of this energy of like fireworks going off. So there's kind of like this energy of it's starting to move. There will be reasons to celebrate. The other card we have though is balance. So this is saying, this is equivalent to like the Temperance card in the traditional tarot deck. And this says, take everyone's input into consideration, merge viewpoints to create a better solution, take your time, there's no need to rush. So it's like, maybe you're wanting to like go, 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 like move, 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 but there's a little bit of temperance needed right now. It's like, let's take a break, let's just take some breath. We don't have to necessarily rush it. It's okay for us to have those goals, but understand that we're working towards them. I was kind of dealing with a bit of that earlier because sometimes I get so overwhelmed. And especially with this Virgo full moon, I feel like it's just been constant work, like constant things for me to fix, constant projects, and I love it, but it's just been a lot. And sometimes I get really overwhelmed that it's like, oh my God, I have so many things that I need to do for my business and it's all on me. It's a tremendous amount of pressure, you know? So I feel like I have to consciously tell myself it's okay. It will all get done in divine perfect timing. And if that project is not as far along as I would like, it's okay because I'm putting my energy over here right now because that's what needs my attention, you know? And it's okay to have quick projects, quick fixes, short-term fixes, and long-term fixes, right? Yeah, so I feel like for you, Brandy, it's like maybe this is about just understanding how to temper that impatience, you know? So maybe doing some EFT for patience would be really helpful. Trusting that things are getting better. I can really relate to this as well. Trusting that things are getting better, but this is almost like a test of like balancing out your need to be, what I'm hearing is proactive versus reactive. So instead of being reactive, let's get proactive. You know, what can I do to improve my circumstances that I have control over while I'm waiting for kind of the universe to pick up the momentum that I'm putting into it and becoming more of a vibrational match to those things that I want to be improved in my life and get better. Good stuff. All right, Brandy, well, I'm thinking we should transition to the sign by sign for the week. Looks like we're at 9 o'clock, so it's a good time to do it. So let's do that. So let's see. Sign by sign. Okay, and I'm gonna use Fairy Tarot for that. So I'm assuming many people will catch this on replay. So let's go through. Thank you for the love hearts, Brandy. I appreciate them so very much. Okay, so let's see. What does Aries, Sun, Moon, or Rising need to know for this week of February 18th? Does Aries need to know for this week? Actually, let's put these back. Let me redo that because I want to put the previous cards back. You're so welcome, Brandy. Okay, let's see. What does Aries need to know for this week? Aries. There we go. 5 of Autumn. This came out really strong too, which is good. So it says, reach out to others for assistance, poor timing for a career change, feeling challenged by money issues. So you could see here though that this also has kind of an energy of like victim energy or just like pity or wallowing energy, right? So there's like the little boy and he's like asking for help from the woman. So this is like who in your life is receptive to give you help right now, right? Who is able to maybe suggest things that are of service or help you in some type of way. Maybe you need some help, you know? So being open-minded to people that are offering help and receiving that help from them. This also though has the energy of like, be mindful of, are you trying to almost like get this help? I knew that was coming. Are you trying to get this help from the wrong people? You know, are you trying to knock on doors and open doors and ask people for help that maybe, you know, aren't going to help you, you know, and it just makes you feel worse. So for Aries this week, it's like, let's focus on who can be helpful to us, who makes us good when we feel helped by them. And let's focus on proactive, peaceful, positive suggestions of what we can do to improve our circumstances. All right, for Taurus this week, I'm so glad, Brandy. For Taurus this week, what does Taurus need to know for this week? Ooh. Let's see, I got 2 for Taurus. Taurus, yes for Taurus, yes for Taurus. Okay, so for Taurus, we got Ace of Summer. This is like a new relationship or some type of new peace kind of falling upon you. It says, open your heart to love, the beginning of a new intimate relationship or the rebirth of a current one, the awakening of psychic abilities or spiritual epiphanies. This just has a lot of peaceful energy to it, a lot of inner child, a lot of youthful energy. This is for Taurus for this week. I know, right? I was reading your High Monty. And then we have 6 of Autumn. So it says, the good you do comes back to you, an unexpected inflow of money, borrowing wisely, or repaying a debt. So it's like, for Taurus this week, we have a lot of new things, a lot of kind of like, just getting, and this could be sun, moon, or rising. I'm just getting the sense like, okay, this will improve, this is better, I can deal with this, things are going better. So I feel like for Taurus, it's surrender into the new people, the new situations that are coming in to kind of refresh things and help you out. For Gemini for this week, what does Gemini need to know for this week? Five of Spring. Opposing goals arising from differing opinions, feeling at odds with yourself or others, overly ambitious people. So this has the energy of like these 2 kids basically fighting, right? You know, of course, this is fairy tarot. They're not fighting in like this violent way. It's kind of like a playful way. I'm also drawn to a lot of the purple flowers in the background. So it's like, are you getting caught up in like situations with people or places that it's just like, you know? And for Geminis, it's like there's a lot going on because Gemini is a mutable sign. Gemini, like Virgo, is ruled by Mercury, so it's a lot focused on the mind and like, you know, all the details. And with all this Pisces energy coming in, you know, Pisces is going to square Gemini. Pisces and Gemini will have a different type of relationship with each other than Virgo and Pisces would, because Virgo and Pisces are actually on the same axis, so they have the capacity to balance each other out, right? Whereas a square is a 90-degree angle in astrology, so it's a little bit more of a tension and a kind of like a fight, if you will, and you have to actually understand how to create peace between those 2 dynamics and give each of them their due. So they're just different energies, the square and the opposition in astrology. Both of them require work. But there's just something slightly different about an opposition between 2 signs because of the fact that they're on the same line. It's kind of like a mystery of astrology too. But anyway, so for Gemini, you know, you've already got an opposition going on with Jupiter in Sag, and then with all this Pisces energy coming in, you might just be feeling so inundated and overwhelmed that you want to be thinking about things a certain way, but you're having trouble. So it's like, this is the card of like looking at the battles you're fighting, and maybe you just need to kind of unplug and get into more of your crown chakra, into some more meditation, some more receptivity from the divine. All right, Cancer, what does Cancer need to know for this week? Bit of a sluggish card there. We got Balance, this Balance card again, right? So this is again like that Temperance card, you know, in the tarot deck, and it's just all about understanding that it's cycles and rhythms, right? So what in your life is out of balance right now? Are you working way too much and you need to maybe dial that back and have some more self-care? That could very well be it, because there's so much Capricorn energy going on. Also, Venus is in Capricorn astrologically, and Venus and Saturn are starting to now conjunct, which in astrology means come together. So, you know, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of things that need to get done, a lot of pressure on you to do work and build things and create systems and structures and organization around those systems. So for Cancers, it's like maybe you're really out of balance and you need to really look at balancing, you know, your needs this week. Okay, for Leo, what does Leo need to know for this week? Two of Spring. A bright future manifested through hard work. This is also about partnerships though. So you could see the two people there and they've got the boat and they're bringing the boat to the shore. Again, lots of purple energy. So for Leos too, a message here about getting in touch with meditation and the crown chakra and connecting with the divine. But it's like maybe there's somebody you need to kind of partner up with to carry that boat to the shore, because this card is the card that comes up before some of the other cards that I saw earlier when I was pulling for, I forget who it was, but the card, I think it was Brandy, the card with the ship that's in the water. This card comes before that. So for Leo, it's like maybe you need to kind of partner up with somebody in order to kind of get things moving along. Is there somebody you need to partner with that has skills that you need to learn, or organization, or some type of help in some type of way, right, to help you get that project off the ground? Who can help you out? And maybe you need to kind of sync up with them in some way. Virgo. What does Virgo need to know for this week? What? We got two cards again. Okay, so for Virgo, we have Seven of Summer. This is like the procrastination card. No more, I can relate to this from my website. No more procrastinating. Your power comes from making a decision. Confusion that arises from overanalyzing the options. Also, for Virgos, when you look at this, you want to look at which color are you drawn to. So I'm actually really drawn to this red orange here, which makes a lot of sense for me because I'm doing a lot of organization around my finances. I actually was doing my taxes last week, and this week I'm just dialing in a lot more to like getting really organized with even more things. You know, so this is just getting in touch with like what needs cleaning up, what needs organizing, you know, and not necessarily saying like I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. Remember, one of my favorite quotes is this, well, my favorite quote is "An eye for an eye will make the whole world blind" by Mahatma Gandhi. But another quote that I really love is this one that I keep on my prosperity altar, which basically says that, let me get the quote so I don't brutalize it. Here it is. Success is the sum of small efforts, repeated day in and day out, by Robert Collier. That quote, I always relate to that quote because sometimes we look at success that happens by other people or in the world and we're just like, these people had an overnight success, or like, how did these people get from there to there? And it's like they got from there to there because every day they put work into doing the things, right? Doing the things that they love, working on themselves, or even if they just put work into it visually through manifesting or visualizing, there's still work that's being done on a daily basis towards that goal. So it's like retraining ourselves that there's the concept of an overnight success is a myth, because that overnight success, even if yes, somebody's noticed or something bursts kind of like suddenly, you know, it's like there has been a lot of energy that was paving the way for them to kind of pop and get to that point. So, you know, there could be something here too, Virgos, where it's like with all this full moon energy in Virgo, it's like we're being, you know, perfectionistic of like, oh, well, I can't do that because I don't have all the things in order to do it. And it's like, just start it anyway. Just do something small, even if it's 5 minutes for it, and you'll probably end up sliding into a lot more than just 5 minutes of it, because it'll be so good. Four of Spring. This is an exciting card. So it says, be grateful, you have much to celebrate, deep feelings of peace and happiness, a contented personal life. So this could also be like the energy of like romance or excitement, just feeling really good. Maybe with another person. There's also like that really cool fairy castle in the background, and this is just like a very abundant card. So with the two cards here, it's like your guidance is this week, really focus on, you know, what projects or priorities have you been procrastinating on that need your attention. And also just being grateful or mindful for people coming into your life that might make you feel like it's kind of a fairy tale and that it's pretty good. So that's good for Virgo. Love that. Libra, what does Libra need to know for this week? Libra for this week. All right, for Libra, we have 3 of Autumn. So this says, follow your passion when it comes to your career. Be the best at what you do, being compensated for your creative talents. So it's like this little fairy dude here, you know, he's building these really cool like glass fairy wings. So for Libra, it's like, what are your passion projects or the things that you're good at doing or the things that you love? You need to kind of invest some time and energy in doing that. And I'm also getting a reminder too that, you know, Libra energy squares Capricorn. So with Venus in Capricorn, Saturn in Capricorn, Pluto in Capricorn, you know, there's a pretty good chance that some part of your Libra energy, depending upon the degrees, of course, is squaring a lot of that Capricorn energy. So there's a lot of pressure on you, you know, to put your creative talents to work or to put them to use. And this card is just really affirming that. But the good news is that it feels really good when you're doing your creative endeavors. So just getting more into that flow. And I just feel in general with a lot of this, you know, Mercury, Neptune, and Pisces energy, there's going to be a lot of the sense of like, I don't have the energy, I can't, I'm too tired, I'm too this, I'm too that, and wanting to just check out. And we really have to, like, I don't want to say push through it or push past it, because of course there is part of that that maybe want to teach you to meditate or have an extra nap or kind of go about the energy in creative ways, involving like the water element. But at the same time, we can't use that excuse every day, and we can't use that excuse all day, because things still need to get done, and they need to get done just like that quote, day by day, right? And that's kind of the dichotomy between, you know, Virgo and Pisces, which is also the energy of this full moon. It's all about like balancing the conscious with the unconscious, and the things that need to get cleaned up in our life versus the things that need to get cleaned up in our life that are maybe unseen, and how do we balance those two, that dichotomy, and how do we deal with that, right? All right, Scorpio, what does Scorpio need to know for this week? Scorpio has an amazing card. 6 of Spring. Wonderful news is on its way. Smart choices that bring rewards, success, and public recognition. So this is like, this is equivalent also to like the Ace of Fire card in one of the other decks. So it's like this woman, she's coming in on this horse. It's like, hello, good things. We got lots of like, there's even like lanterns glowing in the background. So for Scorpio, it's like, what is coming forward for you? Sun, moon, rising. What's coming forward for you that's like successful, that's good, that's exciting. Good news for Scorpios, and focus on that. Saggies, what does Sagittarius need to know for this week? Sagittarius has Princess of Autumn. So this says gentle, sensitive, kind, inexperienced, a new relationship or emotional experience, invitations to social events, a compassionate friend you can share your concerns with. This is similar to what I was talking about earlier on in this live. This is not quite a queen of summer, right? It's princess of summer. So there's kind of this youthful energy here. There's still things that need to be learned. But overall, it's like a receptivity, a positivity, a soft energy. I'm just really feeling that very yin energy to this. So for Sag, it's like, what people or situations or projects are you becoming receptive to that you're maybe learning about? And what could you do to kind of continue inviting that in, continue kind of in that energy? Because ideally we want to graduate from the princess of summer to the queen of summer, right? That's the goal. So we need to kind of stay in that and keep in that and keep going in that. All right, who am I up to? Capricorn. What does Capricorn need to know for this week? Ten of Summer. This is equivalent to the 10 of Cups in the Tarot. Of an emotionally fulfilling life with family or friends, raising children wisely, people you can trust. This is just overall like a really just happy, you know, there's good people in your life. There's good things that are growing and blossoming and developing. You're happy where you are. Of course, for Capricorns, there's always work that needs to get done, right? But this is just in general saying it's like you feel good. Life feels good. There's good things happening. There's good things that are happening in particular this week because we pulled that card for you for this week. Okay, and Aquarius, and also for Capricorns, the full moon in Virgo would be a trine, right? Because it's the same earth element. And if I'm remembering, for Taurus, I pulled some pretty good cards. So the earth signs this week, you know, they're kind of getting some more nourishment back into their lives because we've got, you know, this full moon in an earth sign, which is a trine, same element. All right, where are we at? Aquarius. This is Aquarius needs to know for this week. Number 15, ego. So it's like, what are you attached to right now, whether this be emotions or thoughts or things? It says the illusion of being trapped, placing too much importance on material items, getting caught up in fear and worry. This image is also related to almost like, you know, the fires of Beltane. It's like, let go of all the karmic shit and karmic stuff that's happening or that we're telling ourselves is happening that's preventing us from actually working on the task at hand or applying ourselves fully to what we know and what we love. So for Aquarius, it's like, let's move through it. Let's let it go. Let's move past it. And what's interesting is that we've just now finished Aquarius season. So let's think. So, I keep getting tripped up every time I try to do this, but, so for Aquarians, you know, Pisces would be their second house by solar method. So the second house is the house of Taurus, which is about money and assets. So what I'm wondering is for Aquarians, is it like, are there things that you're telling yourself, about your money situation or about the ways that you could possibly be of value that are not true and that you have to purge or let go of? There's something there, some kind of karmic work that needs to be done there. And Pisces, what does Pisces need to know for this week? So good. 9 of Summer, your wish comes true. This is like the fairy godmother card, Pisces. So, you know, it's saying dreams fulfilled, a magical time of life. And this could be, again, sun, moon, rising. So this is just like a really happy card. It's like you're being helped. There's positive things coming into your life. There's a lot of magic at foot. And of course, we're in Pisces season as of today. So happy birthday to any early Pisces that are watching this. This is your season, Pisces. So this is the time where it's like, things feel magical because it's in the energy of what you like best, which is your, you know, solar energy, right? So it's an exciting time for Pisces. So there we have it, everybody. I'm feeling guided to do one more card pull for what the collective needs to know. I'll do that from Angel Tarot. What does Angel Tarot need to know right now? Okay, what does the collective need to know for this week? The Chariot, Archangel Metatron. An important achievement, self-discipline and willpower, public recognition. So this is like movement energy, and it's like, let's go, let's go, let's go. Also the 2 horses here. So the darker horse here represents like, you know, this almost like the unconscious, right? Whereas the white horse is like the light, the conscious, and moving into the light and things like that. So what I'm also wondering is there some work that needs to be done on, you know, a bit of shadow work actually that needs to be done for the collective this week, with also Pisces representing a lot of karmic energy and subconscious patterning energy, and Mercury there and all this energy there. Maybe there's some work you need to do, some healing work you need to do to clear those unconscious patterns. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. You know, having an astrology session with me sure helps with that, to illuminate some of those aspects of unconscious patterns. EFT is a wonderful resource. Journeying, you know, meditation, there's so many different ways. So for the collective though, I also feel this is the message of like, despite whatever's happening in your environment, keep going. Go, 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 go. Because fairly soon now, I forget the exact date, but coming up pretty soon, we've got a Mercury retrograde starting. So I also feel like this is a nudge of like, the energy is only gonna, this sense of like, oh, I'm too tired, I can't, sluggish, that's only gonna increase. So let's not make this a pattern every day for the next 40 days, right? Of, I can't, I'm too tired, I'm this, I'm that. Let's really just keep going. Use the energy of like momentum and just start where you are. Do even a couple minutes on what needs to get done and just let that momentum kind of carry you. And if you only get done 2 minutes today, no big deal. Try for 4 minutes tomorrow and 5 minutes the next day, you know? So, you're so welcome, Randy. That was like an epic Facebook Live session, I have to admit. I need a sip of tea. Okay, so I want to clear any and all negative energy from this space. And I want to also thank all of the guardians, guards, archangels, power animals, spirit animals, ancestor spirits, everybody, basically, that was of service and helping transmute the messages that came through in this live tonight. And happy full moon tomorrow, everyone. See you on my Facebook business page. You're so welcome, Amy. I'm so glad you guys loved it. And it was, I really do trust that the messages that came through are what was meant to come through tonight. And it worked out actually, you know, just even though we were such a small group, it worked out okay, because I guess I had a lot of messages to channel. And typically when I start like getting excited and I talk fast, that's when I'm like supremo channel mode. I'm noticing as I'm, you know, now I'm so well versed with readings that, and I, knock on wood, I don't want to like, you know, want to stay humble brag status, but you know, I'm finding that as I'm becoming so much more fluent is a better way to put it, fluent in the language of card reading, because really what I do is, you know, I'm a linguist. I'm actually translating the energy, I'm translating energy from the cards into words for people to understand. And with astrology, it's similar. It's another language, right? Another language of the divine I'm translating. So, you know, it's like as I become tuned to that frequency, I can start to channel faster and I get really excited in that. And I notice, because I listen to a lot of Abraham Hicks, and I noticed that Abraham Hicks like talks really, really fast, you know, and it's never ever bothered me. But it was funny, recently I was on one of the videos and I saw in the comments a couple people had commented about how fast she was talking, and I just kind of smirked to myself because I understand, being like a channel, what's happening is that the information's coming through you and you're just so excited. You're on such a high vibe with that energy that's coming through that you're wanting to transmute it. And there's just a lot to express, right? So it's a good thing. But anyway, off my soapbox, gonna get back into some Virgo things that feel really good to this Virgo on this pre-Virgo full moon eve. And I'm sending you all so much love and light, all those watching this live and on replay. Much love.